So once again, from us, our organization, from a culture perspective, we've grown a lot in the last 3 years. I think we've added about 20 DMOs, and it's been quite a stressful process loading up these organizations almost on a 1 month per deployment schedule. It usually takes place mostly in the spring and the summer. In behind all that, we've constantly upgraded the system. To our own team, we've added graphics designers, we've added usability people, we've added an in-house SEO person, and finally in the last quarter of November of 2012, we added 2 mobile developers in an effort to become more of a one-stop solution to reduce our dependency on third-party organizations. In generality, over the course of time, we've also increased the number of interfaces, and mostly that's to be able to acquire inventory from a variety of different partners in a much more seamless fashion. If I venture away from the mic, you can't hear me, please once again speak out. And we've always responded to the changes in the environment with upgrades to this system. And again, this is what we're going to be dealing with today. And the first thing really on the agenda will be the mobile platform. But as we start to go through the presentation, what you're going to see in most cases are the upgrades really fall into these 5 or 6 different categories. And one is the improvement of the communications to the consumers, the usability improvements in the system, a larger number of tools for the hoteliers for rate and inventory management. There's been a greater focus on selling attractions in the last half a year. And then we've also looked at the system to create more unique product offerings, what kind of system enhancements we can do. That'll be the itinerary builder. You'll see that a little bit later today. And with our sports and tourism and conference booking modules, there's new possible roles for the DMO to get into. So right into the first topic, this is wonderful mobile world. And I don't need to belabor this very much. I think we all know where it's going. It's basically, if you read the stats, everyone's showing you that the growth in mobile bookings is just astronomically growing at a phenomenal pace. I think what's characteristic about a lot of the mobile bookings is that they are taking place for the same day. I found myself on my last trip, I went back to Europe with my dad and my mom. We were traveling through Romania. As long as I was able to hit a McDonald's, I got wireless. I was able to book everything on the fly, ready to go. And I think what a lot of people are doing is they know there's an abundance of hotel inventory on the market. They don't have to plan 6 months like they did years ago or 2 months out. They can do it at the last minute. When the bookings do in fact come via the mobile device, they are for room rates, probably at a much higher rate than any other distribution channel. And the research also points that consumers are booking to brands. And there is some evidence to point out that a lot of the consumers do like to book at the brand websites because they feel that the booking is instantaneously there. There's no transmission delays in the making of a booking via a mobile device. Now, when we started with this, we had to take into account, how we build our products. And I believe that the vast majority of you do understand that we differ from the 2 or 3 other competitors in the North American marketplace. A typical reservation system vendor, or most software developers who are selling a software as a service, are turning around and licensing a product, and they're pulling from a universal set of source code. That's very efficient for the organization. It's easy for the development team. They're able to keep their costs down by hiring fewer programmers. But the drawback with that is that there's very little flexibility in terms of customizing the application on a client-by-client basis. On the other hand, we started off customizing the applications based upon the needs of our clients. And we set up virtually all our clients on individual databases. So that allows for the greatest amount of flexibility on a client-by-client basis. And so what we found over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, there's really no 2 DMOs that operate exactly the same. There's a lot of consistency across the board, but there's a lot of uniqueness. So we're forever building different bridges into the system, a lot of different discounting formulas, because every marketplace is different. And so much of what we've done over the last 3 years has come from you as our clients, the requests no, we've got this new deal coming in with this event, we need this system to do this. Or we've got an organization coming to us willing to give us discount tickets, well, we need the system to do that. So building the system out on an individual sort of set of source code on a client-by-client basis is a far more complex endeavor. It takes a lot more time for us to do basic system updates. We have to turn around and plug in upgrades into every single client if they want so. And when I say plug in, that's a very easy term. Sometimes integration into the consumer side might take a certain degree of time. It's not that simple. So what we have here, if you look at the screens, is that we've got, I labeled it off here, DMO 1, DMO 2, and 3. So when we thought about our mobile platform, what we wanted to do was to create a middle tier between the consumer and the individual reservation systems. And we labeled this one kind of commonality. It's a full XML booking engine. That was one of the benefits of creating this. And what's really happening from your perspective, where I think you'll get the greatest amount of comfort zone, and certainly consumers will appreciate this, is that by virtue of building and investing a great deal of time in this middle tier, what we're able to do is to have all the processing, all the hard work done on the server level, so that when the consumer downloads the apps, they're very, very light. Our iPhone app, I believe, is under 5 megabytes. The Android app is only 1 megabyte. So we took a look through a lot of the DMO sites which have apps. Some of their apps are as much as 25 megabytes. The application, when you're actually working with it, is very, very quick, because we created this whole concept of pushing back all the processing back onto the servers. Now, that commonality is that we will be able to deliver via the mobile-friendly website and the mobile app virtually all the functionality that you find in your desktop versions. There's not going to be very much compromised in this case. And there is going to be a little bit of customization available. But once we get into very, very specific things, in terms of some advanced discounting formulas that have come up, we may not be able to do that on the mobile devices. But we're pretty confident we can achieve almost